Welcome to T Boys TV. We are back again with another T Boy. Not T Boy Discusses Hat Show. The reason I said that is because it is just myself. And usually, when it is just myself doing a style of video, it is usually T Boy Discusses. But we're obviously here for Hat Show, obviously episode 281. And obviously, in this one, like I say, in the pinned comments, it is just myself today. And I will be talking about the Rotherham game. Not that there's probably much to talk about in terms of the game itself. Obviously, did do a watch long, did do a reaction, but obviously we'll do the player ratings and do get involved in the chat as well. And do ask me some questions, like I've said, given that it's just myself. Do ask me some questions on Luton and things like that. But yeah, big up to everyone that's been waiting, that's liked and all of that while we've been waiting. Big up to Paul in the chat. It does say evening, lads. Like I say, mate, it's just myself today. But big up to yourself, mate, as well. Hope you are well and everything like that. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, Rotherham game. So, we go into it. Me and my dad both confident of a win, given our run, given the fact we did want to play this game because of the momentum we had from the Stockport game. There was a lot of confidence. We didn't underestimate Rotherham because like we said going into it, they were 6 games unbeaten, now 7, I believe. That will be the case. And we thought Nombe playing for them, if he was to feature, could be a benefit for them. Obviously, when the team news dropped at 1:45, as it drops 15 minutes earlier now this season, not really too sure why that is, but it does. Obviously there was no Nombe. That was interesting. Obviously, I looked at our lineup first, and I thought, it seemed to me like a 3-5-2 or a 3-5-2 or 5-3-2, whatever you want to call it. For me, they're very similar formation. They're basically the same, aren't they? So obviously we had Keeley in goal. Back three of we had Naismith on the left, Anderson and Mengi. We had Jones as a right wing back. We had Bramwell on the left. We had Walsh and obviously Lamine. Richards, and we actually had 2 up front, which was the key talking point of this game. Now, I have said I feel we have to play 2 up front, especially when El Hamadi's, eventually firing. Obviously, he's got an injury, but Wilshere did say after the game, not too sure if any of you guys did watch it, I'm sure most of you did on the YouTube. He was asked right at the end about it, and he basically said it's not too serious. So that's good news. He did nearly obviously score against Stockport, did score during the international break, good finish as well. So it will do him a world of confidence. And again, it doesn't matter what opposition. For me, I don't care if certain players score against certain opposition. Obviously, you can look back at it and then go, oh yeah, but he scored against so and so. Like if he doesn't, say for example, right, Yates scored against Barnet, right? Let's say Yates carries on this form for the whole season, which will be terrible if he does. But let's just say he does. You can then look back at that game and go, yeah, okay, cool. You only scored against Thing. But at this present moment, I don't care who the players score against. I just would like them to score. Because I think that's the main problem with us. It's up front. We are looking better defensively. Granted, Rotherham didn't really give us too much in this game. Like in terms of, after a bit of the while in the game. At the start, they did. Obviously, Hugo, their striker, ex-West Ham player, been at Rotherham for many, many years. Like I said in the reaction, he's been there since, they got the, the playoff. We got the playoffs. The year we got the playoffs and they went down. I believe they went down that year. And, he's been there for years. He's experienced enough to know what's what. He had a chance, half chance really. Keeley got to it. Pretty routine for, Josh Keeley. But as soon as he come off, I knew they were going to play like that. And like I said in match reaction, I'm not, I'll give them massive credit. I'm not going to criticise the way they played. I know you look at, for example, Premier League clubs, they'll moan about teams playing that type of way. But, that's a completely different ball game because at the end of the day, you're up against teams who have millions and, well, not even millions, billions of pounds to spend. You can't compete. But in this league, with their injuries, I think they had 1 centre-back available. Obviously, when Hugo come off, they've actually only got 1 striker, like one that can actually play up front and is a striker. I'm not sure if any of their midfielders could play higher up. But the point is, they're one up front. So you look at it and you think, well, I can't blame them for playing like that. Maybe certain people expected them to play a bit better, given how they're doing in terms of their form, unbeaten in obviously now 7-6 going into the game. But I'm not going to begrudge them for that. I'm not, at the end of the day, we should be having shots on target at home. I don't care who we're playing against. I don't care if we're playing against Man City or we're playing against Barnet. Yeah, I don't care. We should be having shots on target at home. And a lot of games this year, we've obviously come out of that. And I think my stream's flipping lagged again. So, for flip's sake, is it doing this stuff again? 1 second. Let me know if anyone can hear me. No, I think the stream's gone again. No, it seems okay. Yeah, sorry. Obviously got the YouTube up on my phone. Big up to yourself as well, Dad. And I can see that it was freezing. So apologies. I will go through the other comments as well. Sorry. I'm a bit worried after the other day. I don't really want them issues again because that did wind me up. But fair play to YouTube the way it edited it. I'm sure a lot of you watched it back. I know Jackie was frustrated, not at me, but obviously the streaming. I don't know if it's a streaming platform or YouTube that done it, but hopefully it doesn't do it today. And also, this streaming platform, I've renewed it. I pay for it monthly. I've renewed it today. So if there's a day it should not do it, it should be today. Anyway, what was I saying? I can't begrudge them for the way they were playing. I can't. We should be having shots on target at home, whoever we're playing, especially with the fact we had 2 up front, which a lot of us as fans, you guys will know me heavily, have been calling for 2 up front. But the 2, I don't think Yates was as bad as some people are saying. He weren't great, but, I think Wells was far worse. Other than winning a free kick, I don't know what he done in this game, to be quite honest with you. Yates was dropping deep. Whether you agree with strikers dropping deep, I don't mind it if they've got a bit of pace about them. At least he was trying to get back and get the ball, is what I'm trying to say. Wells was non-existent in this game, man. And I'm starting to lose patience with him. I've got to be honest, because I've tried to back him. He should be doing well at this level. I don't care if he's 35. He scored 10 goals in the Championship last year. He should be doing well, and he's not. And it's just getting frustrating now. And for me, I've said I'll drop him in loads of games and put him on the bench. But, I said I'll play him against Brighton under 21s for confidence. I should not be saying that about a player that got, a team heavily in the playoffs. Bristol City fans are absolutely gutted when he went. I should not be saying that about a player like that, especially in a league lower. But yeah, I'm losing a bit of patience with Wells. I've got to be honest because, yes, the other strikers ain't doing much better, but they're doing better than him in terms of at least they're getting known. Like Nordos for me, I'm going to talk a bit about Nordos a bit later on, but I don't like the way he's been thrown out of the team. And again, I've said it loads of times, he ain't going to get loads of goals, but in terms of affecting the play and actually setting up other players right now, like Asaya Jones, even Lamine, he could do well at that. And he's tall, he's tall as well. And sometimes we do like a long ball. So he'd be good at holding up the ball. Yates is not known for holding up the ball. I've said that so many times this season. He's a good player with the ball at his feet, and there's so many times earlier on when we had Jerry Yates, when he had his earlier games where we're trying to cross the ball into. He's not known for scoring headed goals. Like I'll go back to, we had Lee Charles on the channel, Blackpool fan. He was saying he's not that type of player. So why are we trying to play like that with him? You've got to have someone like Nordos on, whether you rate him or not. I don't rate him in terms of goal scoring, but I rate him in terms of being effective. I'm going to talk about him a bit later on. Just frustrating from Wells. I am losing patience, like I say, with him. We just were poor in the first half, to be honest. Obviously, Rotherham started better. We didn't really do too much, which is pretty poor at home. For a game we were all up for, given, the win last week against top of the league Stockport. It's frustrating, man. It is very frustrating. And, there is a few comments here there was a comment, where was it? From Phil Evening. Big up to yourself, Phil, mate. Main thing is we didn't lose. And I do totally understand that. We could have easily went into this game overconfident and then lost, given how we're doing and sort of underestimating how they've done. But yeah, for me, the worrying thing, mate, is just the fact, like I said, we had 3 shots on target in the end. I can't even think of what they were. I think they're judging 2 of them from crosses. I think one was from Kadawa and the other one, I can't remember who it's from. I think they're actually trying to say the crosses were on target and count them as shots because, yeah, that was disappointing in terms of that. Defensively, we didn't have to do much. And even the defenders in this game, I'm going to be honest, other than Mengi, I don't think their defence was great. Like, in terms of what Anderson got away with one. But what I will say about that, yes, that should have been a red card. However, they were time wasting before that and they were rolling around, doing all of that stuff, fouling our players and getting away with it. Not to, certain levels, but there was little stuff which the ref should have given. And the ref was poor for both teams. But again, you expect that in this division, man. Like, how many times have I said that? But yeah, I mean, Anderson did get away one. Usually he's better in the back 3, but this game, I'll be honest, it was poor. I've got to be honest. Naismith, not great. I don't know how true this was. If any of you were at the game, do correct me if I'm wrong or if I am right. Apparently, he did have an argument. There was a bit back and forth with fans. Obviously, we have had that. Savile had that in one of the home games as well. And, it's one of them things where I look at it and I think, I can understand the crowd's frustrations. The people that are there, I totally get it. Like, it's like Chris Powell said, and this is what got me on board with Chris Powell even more, even though I liked us getting him originally anyway because of, how experienced he is in the game. But in terms of, him saying, well, the players have to make the fans get on board. And that's the thing. At home, man, we're so poor. Like, we have to be honest, we're 20th on home form in the league. That is poor, man. That is absolutely poor. And let's be honest, like, when was the last memorable win at home? It's probably Watford. But even then, that was a one-off. Do you know what I mean? And you've got to be up for that game. You just have to be. Before that, I'd probably say Brighton. But yeah, like, that's nearly touching 2 years ago. Do you know what I mean? It's not good, man. Like, especially when, people used to come to Kenilworth Road, they always used to say, it's a hostile place, that the fans are very close. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's disappointing, but I can't blame the fans. Like I say, the players have to do the right things. What we've done a lot in home games this year, we have to be honest, is we've started off slow. We've been very sloppy in possession. And again, it was another slow start against Rotherham. They had a half chance, and things like that. So we need to be getting, to grips, and you have to get the fans up for it. It's as simple as that. That's how I see it. Do let me know if you do agree with that. But yeah, again, it's disappointing. The shots on target. That's the main frustration for me. Coming out of that game is the fact we just didn't do that. We didn't, like, this was a Rotherham side that were there for the taking in ways because of the way they approached the game. And again, I can't blame them for that. If we had all them... I wish we'd done that. When we had all them hefty injuries in the Premier League, granted, all right, it might be a bit different because you're playing much better opposition, but even when we've had... We know this, guys. Over the years, we've had some mad injuries, like in terms of the amount of players out. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if we'd done that. We had a stage not too long ago, like a few years ago, I think, where we had centre-backs out galore. I would not mind if we played like that at certain grounds, but, under Edwards and that, we'd still go attacking for whatever reason. Like, look at the Bournemouth game. We're 3-0 up. We need to go more defensive. We bring on Hashioka, with all due respect, at the time, never played in the Premier League. Don't even know what English football's like as a whole. That was ridiculous. But, I can't, discredit them. And the thing is, they give it a go until Hugo come off. That's how I see it. And he's experienced enough to try and cause stuff. But I'll go through some more comments. Big up to Daniel as well inside, mate. Hope you're well, mate. Cheers, everyone, for letting me know it's good. Shows how bad this league is because we've been awful this season and we're still only 5 points from the top. Just needs to click and we're away. Exactly. And that's the thing now. We don't want to keep saying this like, oh, yeah, it's going to click at some point. Like, this is the thing. This is the thing. I do think not you guys. I'm not referring to you guys, but I just think us as a whole fan base. I think sometimes we get a bit carried away with a win. Do you know what I mean? Like the Stockport win was great. I couldn't believe what was going on. I'm sure all of you like that. Obviously, you know, I was on the watch long. Most of you will know that. But, you know, we're so like adamant and wanting to see this Rotherham game, which I was as well, you know, but then we play like that. And it's not just us. I think there's a bit of, because the squad is good, you know, the squad is good. Obviously, there's holes we didn't fill, left back, right back. But in terms of looking at our whole attacking options, for example, brilliant for this level, you know, and you look at it, and I sometimes think the players themselves, they do get a bit carried away. Not all of them. I think some of them, they do. You know, and we have had that mentality, so that can definitely, you know, not be out of the crazy and a stupid take what I'm saying. You know, Tim Krul at the end of last year on the, I can't, what was that goalkeeper's name? The one that used to play for Watford, does the podcast. You guys will know who I'm on about. He went on there and he said, you know, we were too overconfident going into the season in the Championship, expecting, you know, to go straight back up. And we felt that as fans. You know, I felt we needed to get a little bit more, and you guys can actually go back and see that. But in terms of overall, it's similar this year. You'd back us to do well, and don't get me wrong, we have a good squad, and it's like you say, mate. And I've said that. I said that loads throughout the start. I kept saying the fact at some point we got 5 wins, and we were right up there still. It proves the division ain't great, and it isn't. You know, you also look at the division as a whole, right? There's not been a team really that have stood out at the top. Really, I don't think you can really say there has been. I mean, Stockport were obviously doing well. They've obviously dropped off with that loss to us and things like that. But in terms of a runaway team, is what I'm trying to say. There hasn't really been that. There's been spells where it's been the team. Like at start, you could say it's Cardiff. Then now, obviously, you could say it's Stockport. But, you know, there isn't a proper runaway. You know, anyone could still win the league. You know, and I'm not just saying that because there's so many games left. That's generally how it is. It's so open. It's like you say, mate, we're only 5 points off the top. So, you know, anything can still happen, like you say, and we just need to get a run. But, yeah, it's just what I'm trying to say is we're just getting into that habit of saying we need to get into that run when we need to get in that run, like, soon. Do you know what I mean? Sooner rather than later is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah. Naismith and Savile are supposed to be leaders, and I don't see it myself. Yeah, I mean, I like Savile. You know, I actually think, well, based on one of my dad's ratings in terms of man of the match, I think he's got the highest. I'm just going to double check that. Yeah, he's got the highest from us, 5 votes. You know, I do hear what you're saying. I think he shows it indirectly, Savile. I think, you know, he gets in the refs here. That's why he's got a lot of yellow cards this year and things like that. You know, but Naismith, yeah, I've got to agree with you there, mate. He's been disappointing this year. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, he should be doing better. He should be doing, again, I don't look at their age. I don't look at their age. You know, I know he's obviously 30 odd, but I don't look at his age, man. Again, doing well for us on loan last year. Probably not as good as the time he was here the first time, but still, like, it's so disappointing, man. Like, I don't know what it is, really. Is it that complacency, that overconfident, you know, self? I don't know. But you wouldn't think he comes across like that. But yeah, in terms of Savile, like, shouting players, I haven't really seen that. I mean, you don't always need that. I mean, I know it's a completely different player that I'm about to refer to, but like Paul Scholes, he was never, do you know what I mean, like rowdy and that. But, you know, I hear what you're saying. Like, it's difficult. Like, who would you guys actually put? Like, if you didn't put Naismith as your captain, who would you guys actually put? It's hard for me because I don't really see who's, like, vocal. Like, I like Clark, but I don't think he's captain material. You know, I don't know, mate. I honestly don't know, like, who I would put. It's difficult for me. That's why the main thing is we don't lose. The wins will come more constantly, says Phil. Bolton are looking good. If we can get something from that game, I'm sure we'll be bang up there. Yeah, I've watched Bolton a few times, not loads. I did watch them against Huddersfield. they were brilliant in the second half. As soon as they brought McAtee on, he nearly scored straight away. He was brilliant. But yeah, no, I think they're looking good. But again, I wouldn't say they're running away. I do think they got holes in their game because if I remember rightly, it started the season pretty poor. I think they drew to Reading or something when Reading were like poor. Obviously, I know they're doing a bit better now with a manager, but yeah, they didn't get a win. I know that, and it was at Bolton. Legs are gone, mate, for the 30s club. And the thing is, I don't know, man. I just, even with like them getting like being 30 odd, mate, I just think for this level, they should be doing better. Like they're proven to be good players. Do you know what I mean? Like Wells, I'd say 10 goals last year in a team that got in the playoffs. Bristol City, they were dark horses for playoffs. Let's be honest. I said they'd actually get them. And I'm glad that is still on YouTube because that was a great prediction. Never said they'd win them. I actually said Coventry nearly did. But they'll go up this year, probably win the league the way they're going. But yeah, like I just think they should be doing better. Like, it's not like they're touching 40. If they were touching 40, even then, like, well, no, that's a bit over the top. But you know what I mean? Like, it's just, yeah, I just think they should be doing better, mate. Yeah, I just don't. Big up to Robert, mate. I just don't see him as a captain. Like, I love Clark. He's my favourite player. He is. Do you know what I mean? But I just don't see him as that. I just don't think he's got that about him. I think he's one of them that does his talking with the ball at his feet. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think he's a brilliant player technically, but in terms of vocal, I don't know. If I didn't put Naismith on it, and that's why, I'm being lenient to Naismith. That's why I keep starting him in games when we do the starting lineups, is because I look at it and I think, well, he brings that element. Do you know what I mean? He brings that leadership. Like, I always remember the games, in COVID on iFollow, when we had him, you could always hear him. Do you know what I mean? And that's why, like, I'm sort of still leaning towards that in the sense of when we do play back three, I feel you have to keep him in for that reason. But I don't know, man. You might have to change it up soon because we've seen, if Bloomfield was not afraid to take Naismith out, there's no reason why Wilshere and Powell will not be afraid to do that. But I don't know, man. I mean, who do you put left centre back? Like, Makoso's not getting a run in for whatever reason. I don't know about Longwick as a left centre back. I think on the right centre back he could be good, but for me, you don't take Mengi out. I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know. And again, this is why another reason why I don't think a back four would work with the players we got right now, because you're either going to have, based on who we're playing right now, you're either going to have Naismith or Anderson or both of them as your centre backs. You probably have Mengi and Naismith, or you know what I mean. You have Mengi, but like I say, you have one of the others. If you have Mengi, sorry, and then we ain't got right back. We have not got a right back. Until Walters is back. Hakeem can play there. He's the only other player I have full confidence in. I don't like seeing Makoso or Longwick there personally. But then again, you also look on that left, right? You've got players that can play left wing back, so that's a bit more beneficial. But in terms of left back, Bramall, that's it. But if he gets injured, man, it's what I said the other day. We got to hope that he doesn't get injured until at least January, because I think that's going to be open and all like that right hand side. And I know Walters is a few weeks back, but even then he got a lot of criticism at the start of the year, which. I did say I think we need another option, someone a bit more experienced. I'll stand by it. I think he can be decent, but I don't think he's the instant answer. The only reason I'd like to see him at right back when he is back is because he is a right back. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we should have went out and got like an EFL experienced right back, and left back. There was players out there. Even on the free, I think Bidwell at Coventry? There was obviously Jamal Lewis. I mean, there was players, yes, they'd have had to get their fitness, but so did Bramall. Do you know what I mean? And I think Bramall's been a decent signing for us. Given we said it last week, given the criticism he's received, like when we signed him, and I was a bit sceptical. I was like, well, if Rotherham fans don't rate him and Portsmouth, then why should I? Do you know what I mean? Look, because usually when a player joins, your club, usually you see there is positive comments from other fans. There wasn't really any on him. But he's come in and done well, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, we should have got someone else, man. Like, because he starts saying if he gets in, he was not. You cannot sit here and tell me he was the Doughty replacement. I can't see that. You know, we knew Doughty was going to go as fans, so I don't understand why they didn't feel it was going to happen, or like why it feels like they didn't seem like it's going to happen. Because do you know what I mean? It's just weird to me. Like, you ask fans in the Premier League, non-Luton fans, you know, our player to watch out for Luton. Most of them would have said Doughty, or probably, you know, Morris or Elijah, but they would have said Doughty because he was up there in the stats of the crossing, creating chances for us, things like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, and again, I know he's at Millwall now and he's not even playing in their team, but do you know what I mean? For us, he was good. Let's be honest. He was a good player. There was games like I think we overplayed him, but you know, he was good for us. Like, why did we not think? Obviously, you're not going to replace someone that level in League One, but just getting a replacement is similar. Like, I know he got sent off against us, but there was the rumours of Owen Dodson, who's obviously now in Stockport. I would have took him. He's quite similar, you know, in terms of he gets on the ball, he loves a cross into the box. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just frustrating. Yeah, it's difficult, man. It is difficult. Paul says Mengi. The problem I would have if Mengi was the captain, mate, is the fact that he's probably going to leave at the end of the season. You know, and what I'd love to know is teams usually have like a leadership group. Like I know Liverpool have it. Obviously, they've got Van Dijk as the main. Robertson's in that category. Salah was Trent, but he's left. Alisson and probably, I don't know, it's probably one of the midfielders. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd be interested to know what ours is. Like, guessing it right now is probably Naismith, Clark. Even though he's not a regular, I could see Shea being in that, even if he's like fifth choice. See what I mean? I don't even know who else it would be. I'm trying to think who else is usually a captain when we play, if they're not playing. Obviously, we haven't got Bell anymore. You would say him because he was a captain a few times last year. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know who it'd be. Like, it's crazy, man. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not even gonna go talk about the game, more of the game itself, because yeah, we all know how it was. I spoke about it myself, but I will get into the player ratings. So do get involved in the chat. Keeley didn't have much to do other than that save right at the start. So I'll just give him a 6.5, really. It's going to be a lot of 6s/6.5s. It's one of them type of games, man. Moving on to Anderson, pretty poor game. Lucky not to be sent off, but then again, they were getting away with all sorts of stuff before. Not to the level of a red card, but still getting away with a lot. So I will go with a... Yeah, he was poor, man, I'll be honest. 5.5. Could even be lower, but I will give him 5.5. Somehow on flash scores, by the way, guys, he got 7.3. Don't know how, if I'm going to be totally honest. And I like Anderson. You know, I've tried to back him, but that game, it was poor, I've got to be honest. Paul says 6.5. Moving on to Mengi. And by the way, guys, Dad has given Mengi man of the match. I actually thought he was one of the better players. Close man of the match, not quite mine. Like I said earlier, I think out of the defence, he was the best one. But yeah, not quite man of the match. I'll give him a 7. I thought he was better. And yeah, 2 decent games from him, you know, in a row. Moving on to Naismith, poor from him again. I've got to be honest. I don't know what it is with him. He's just not playing to the level that I think he should be, really, to be quite honest with you. So 5.5 might sound a bit harsh, but I don't think it is, to be honest. Moving on to Walsh. Walsh was disappointing in this game. I think he got man of the match at the ground, him or Wells. It was one player that definitely should have not got it from this game. His passing was so off Walsh, man. It was so poor. We said on the watch long we wanted to see him come off, and he didn't. He played full 90 minutes somehow. But yeah, poor from Walsh in this game. Again, he got a 7 on here. Don't know how. 5.5. Going with another 5.5, to be honest. But yeah, other ratings. Paul's got Anderson 5, Mengi 7.5. Moving on we'll go over to the wing backs. We'll start off with Jones. He is my man of the match. I thought in the first half he was really, really good. A lot of good interceptions, tackles. Defensively, he can play as a wing back, but it's not really his game. You want to see him higher up. And I thought when he did have to defend in this game and when he did win the ball and stuff, he was really good at that. And he was trying to make stuff happen for us. So I will give Jones a 7.5. And he is my man of the match, which means he gets his second vote of the season from either me or my dad. Both times are actually from me so far with him. And then moving on to the other side, which is Bramall. I've seen better games, but I don't think he was the worst, so I'll just give him a 6.5. And then moving on to Lamine. Again, I think Lamine was all right in terms of the midfield. The midfield weren't great, but I actually feel he was the better midfielder. Him and Richards, obviously Richards come off at half time, but in terms of the player that played longer or the midfield that played longer, I think Lamine was the best one. He was doing more of a defensive role in this game as well as attacking. So, he was doing two different jobs, whereas Walsh was doing more of an attacking, I would say. And Lamine was better. So I will actually give Lamine a 7. Yeah, I'll give Lamine a 7. And then moving on to Richards, come off at half time. I don't think it's an injury. Obviously, at the time, we're thinking it might be because why would you take him off on the form he's on? But we did do that. A lot of people think, that didn't really work as much as it was Kadoa that come on for him. And Kadoa had a few chances, but I don't know, man. I was surprised he come off early. I mean, I even said on the watch along, even though it's 0-0, we didn't have a shot on target at that point. I was saying I don't think we need to do changes. I just think, Powell and Wilshere need to go out there and give them a bollocking, basically. But yeah, I mean, Richards, I'll just give him a 6.5, really. I don't think he was bad or anything like that. And he tried to get on the ball, didn't he? He'd make things happen. And then, yeah, who was I on next? The strikers, isn't it? Yeah, Wells, poor. Like I say, I am getting a bit frustrated with Wells now because, like I said, I've tried to back him, but he's not doing it. And I don't understand why. A player that's got 10 goals in the Championship last year, Bristol City, massive part in getting playoffs, they were gutted to see him go. League lower, I'm not looking at his age. He should be doing better. Yates didn't have a great game either against Rotherham, but at least, Yates was trying to make options. Wells, other than getting fouled, I didn't even see him in the game. So I am getting really frustrated with Wells. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Again, it goes back to what I've said. I would drop him a lot. A lot of games I've said I would drop him and not have him in the lineup because, well, not in the lineup, that's a bit harsh, but in terms of starting lineup, because he's just not, he's not cutting it. I'm sorry, he's not cutting it. And then I'm not being funny. Like, he'll do good things in the game, like Northampton, for example. But when you're a striker, you're meant to be scoring the goals, and he's not. He got one goal in the league, and I can't even remember who that was against, to be honest. Who was it even against? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of them. But yeah, let's go through other comments on the ratings. Where was I on him? I believe I was here. Naismith 5, says Paul. Jones 7.5. Bramall 7. Lamine 6.5. Walsh 6. Richard 6. Wells 5. Walsh was man of the match. Shout out to yourself, Barry, mate. Don't know how they come to that conclusion. You made so. Yeah, exactly, mate. I don't understand that. I really don't. Yeah, I heard that. People told me that there, and I was like, what? That's crazy. Yates, 7. Yeah, we're going to Yates now. I haven't obviously quite done Yates yet. Like I say, I think he was slightly better than Wells in this game. He did have that shot, which keeper obviously got a tipped hand to. And I didn't really like him dropping deep, but then again, he might be being told to do that. Obviously, we know Harry Kane, for example, for England's told to do that. Like I said earlier, I don't know Wells. Like, I don't really know if Yates is a fast player. If he's got a bit of pace about him, then I don't mind it if a striker does it. But then there's times where they'll be dropping deep and you want someone in the box and he's not there. But then again, that's where Wells should be if Yates isn't. Do you know what I mean? And he's just not. So I think Yates was slightly better. I'll give Yates a 6.5. I don't even know if I did give Wells a rating. I don't think I did I? I will give him, do you know what? I'll give him 5. Similar to the Stockport game in terms of the worst player out of the starting 11. Like, that's 2 games in a row now. Like, he's got to be dropped for me. Like, he's got to be dropped and put on the bench. I mean, the next game, I'd be open to playing Brown, and if we do play 2 up front again, I'd be open to Brown and Yates, to be honest. Obviously, El Hamidi, it's not a major injury, but I can't see him starting. It wouldn't make sense. And we are playing Barnsley, which obviously are a Yorkshire team, aren't they? I believe. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Geography. Let me know in chat. But if they are, Jacob Brown's obviously from Yorkshire, so you have that extra determination, maybe. But yeah, we'll get into the subs now. So obviously Kadoa come on. I thought Kadoa was good again. There was a few times he was offside, a bit frustrating, but at least he's eager to try and score. At least he's trying to get in positions compared to Wells. I actually said on the watch along I would take Wells off and put Kadoa up front because Kadoa actually is a striker. But yeah, I thought he was all right. He had that shot, weren't too far wide. I actually thought it was in, but it wasn't. I'll give Kadoa a 6.5. Like I say, the only negative I've got is the fact he was offside like 2 or 3 times. Phil says, I would have dropped Wells a long time ago, to be honest. I don't understand why he's starting sub at best. Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, he should not be starting as much as he is. I mean, I didn't expect him to start as much as he is, and I'm sure all of you in the chat wouldn't either. It doesn't really make sense. I don't see what Wilshere sees that he's bringing at the moment. Like, there's good passages of play in, like, the Northampton game, but you're a striker. You should be scoring, do you know what I mean? And you're not even getting in positions to score. And I know, like, Northampton game, he was trying because I remember at the end of the half, it's on my vlog, he got frustrated, like, because he tried to make a run, it didn't happen. But the other games, he's not done enough. He's not done enough, mate, to keep playing. I don't understand it, to be honest. Wells 5. I think I did read these, didn't I? Ali 6, Kadoa 6. Yeah, Ali, come on. He was all right, actually. Ali, I felt he was trying to go forward, and that was more slowly signs of the old Ali. He probably still don't warrant a start because he didn't do enough, I would say. But I will give him a 6.5. Nelson, you know what? It's going to sound harsh, but I'm going to give Nelson a 5.5. And the reason I am is he had a shot that was poor. And again, like I said on the watch long and the match reaction, I don't mind players having shots from outside the box. We need to do that more. But when Nelson's had the recent shots he's had over the bar and that, it's disappointing. I was surprised Nelson was on the bench. Like I said, giving Wilshere's comments, obviously, a day before, about him, he's one for the future. To me, that sounds like he's going to get loaned out or sold, to be honest. Given, you see how Richards is coming in. Nelson's been at the club long enough now to be doing better. It's as simple as that, man. He was with the team in the Premier League. Obviously, he's been in the youth teams, obviously, before that as well. Do you know what I mean? He should be doing better now. I've got to be honest, and he's not. So, yeah, like I say, 5.5 for him. Brown, I'll give Brown a 6. Actually, no, I'll give Brown a 6. I was going to give him a 6.5. I'll give him a 6. Obviously, he had that header. He did try that flick, which was annoying. But then again, you could argue at least he's getting in that position and trying it. Trying to get on the ball, unlike Wells. So, yeah, I would start Brown next game. I would. Even if you bring him off, like, in the second half at some point, I would start him, to be honest, because he's already shown, and he's already shown more than Wells for me. Yes, he didn't score, but a few times he got on the ball, like I say, at the end of stuff and try to make things happen. So I would start Brown next game. Kadoa 6 says Paul, and Nelson 5. Okay, fair enough. He gone even lower. That's totally fair enough. So, yeah, my man of the match is Jones for this game. Like I say, my dad's is Mengi, which gives Mengi his first vote of the season. Jones for his second. As for the points, everyone that is involved with the points, no one gained anything because we are all said Luton win, bar Jamie, who actually said a Rotherham win. Maybe it could have been. You know, if Hugo stayed on the pitch longer, maybe. Or if they had Nombe, maybe. But yeah, so the points are in terms of the scores. I'm on 6. My dad's on 5. Jackie's on 10. Rich is on 5. Paul, you're on 10. Stephen's on 10. Tom, you're on 1. Phil's on 2. By the way, Phil, I don't actually know if you, to be honest, mate, I don't actually know if you know that you're in this. So, yeah, do let me know. Andy's on 2. Darth Vader's on 10. Ben's on 9. Terry's on 9. Dave's on 7. Blitz is on 6. Chat GPT is on 6. Jamie's on 7. So, like I say, no one gained any points, but a lot of people joined at the top. 4 people: Jackie, Stephen, Paul, and Darth Vader. And like I say, the winner will get a Luton shirt of their choice from this season, with name and number on it that they would like. So, yeah, man, that's what we're going to be doing. And also, if you do become a member, we will be doing that for the members as well. Members only live. You can win it of your team, but obviously the members only, there's more so a broader audience, not just Luton fans. So it's different in that one. You can win whatever team you do support. But yeah, so we're doing that with that. So that's the points as it stands with everything like that. So that's everything when it comes to the game. But the last thing, like I say, I do want to speak on before I end it today is I want to talk on Lassie Nordas. Now, and do let me know in the chat, does he deserve games? Now, what do you honestly think of him as well, like in terms of a player? Like, do you think he would make much of a difference now? Like, do let me know. Do let me know, because we are going to be talking on this towards the end. Oh no, sorry, no, I don't want to do it as a ticker. I want to do it as a banner. So 1 second. Right, let me just do that. Right, there we go. There we go. Right, yeah, do let me know. Do let me know. We're going to talk on this before we end it today. Lassie Nordas, does he deserve more games? Or at least more opportunities, whether that's coming on from the bench? Now, I think he does. I mean, I don't know if it's Wilshere doesn't rate him, doesn't think he's benefiting the squad in terms of his style of play. I'm not too sure, but I think he's brung more than Wells and Yates, for example, this year. Now, goals, they're all on 1 in the league. But I look at games like Blackpool away. I thought Nordas was really, really good in that game. He come on, played the ball, well, actually outbodied one of the players, the Blackpool players. Kadara had a shot. He had a header in the Blackpool game, which he probably should have scored. But in terms of creating chances, I think he can be beneficial. Also, the fact he is a tall striker. Yates and Wells, they're not really tall, and they're not really known for being players that hold up the ball, especially Yates. And I think Nordas can bring that benefit. But I don't know what it is with like the likes of him, Makoso. I don't know why they're not really getting much minutes. It's a bit confusing. But yeah, do let me know in the chat. Do you think Nordas does deserve more minutes? But yeah, we'll go through the comments. Let me just, before I do that, just going to double check something on here. Like I say, I don't know why they're getting lack of minutes, especially like Makoso as well. Like, again, another one, like, pacey defender. I don't think right back we should be playing in there, but right centre back. I mean, Mengi, like I said loads of times, right? Mengi could play anywhere across. Say, for example, you play back 3, you can play left centre back, you can play in the middle of that, and you can play on the right. Right? So you could even put Mengi in the middle of that, Makoso on the right. I don't know who you put on the left right now. I just don't think Longwick's great on the left. That's the reason I would not put him in for Naismith. I probably maybe would keep Naismith in, to be honest. But yeah, you could even do that. But yeah, comments. Yeah, Robert believes he does. Definitely needs a few more minutes. Yeah, exactly. Like, I think he does. Try Nordos and Brown in next cup game, perhaps. Yeah, what is our next cup game? What game's first? Is it the Fleetwood game, or is it in terms of the cup? Is it that game or the Exeter game? I think it's a Fleetwood game, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to see Brown in that game, to be honest. It makes sense. Give him more minutes. I mean, I have said I would start him against Barnsley, to be honest, ahead of Wells, if we do play two up front again. But yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. I mean, yeah, it's annoying because you put more bodies up front, so you put an extra man, and you're still not creating loads of chances. Like I don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. I think that's the main issue right now. I don't actually think it's the defense, even though, like I say, they weren't great the other day when they had to be called upon. I don't think it's that overall. I actually think it's the attack. Like, and I just feel we've got to put Nordos in, man. I feel he's been the better striker out of all of them that have played at the moment. Obviously, I'm not really counting Brown and El Hamidi because they've not played loads. But in terms of Yates and Wells, I think Nordos has been the best one, to be honest. I think he does. Yeah, I agree. We all agree. But I do think someone else deserves. Sorry, I didn't see that comment, mate. For me, Nordos is the same as Hashi. Not ready for English football, and I don't understand why we brought him. Just my honest opinion. No, I hear it. I do hear it. It was a bit out of nowhere. I mean, I've never heard of him when we got him. Like same with Hashioka, so I had to look at highlights. And you know, a lot of us, let's be honest, we were sat. I'm not saying you guys, but I remember showing my dad, and me and my dad talk about it. You know, we said he has similar, like the way he brings the ball down and things, quite similar to Elijah. You know, so there is a player there. Like I said, I don't think he'll get loads of goals. Like, I'm not saying he'll come in and score goals because I don't think that's, even though he's a striker, that's what he should be doing. I don't think that's what he does. I think he's good at affecting others, so like racking up the assists and things like that. But at least, even if he's not scoring, he's setting up other players like Jones or Ali or whoever. I don't care. We just need goals. We need goals. Do you know what I mean? And that was the problem the other day. I felt, you know, if we had him two up front, because let's be honest, when we've seen him play up front with someone else, he's been good, Nordos, as well. You look at the Plymouth game last year, the 1-1 draw, him and Brown worked really well. The Barnet game, again, the opposition not too great, but, you know, him and Yates worked well, both scored that night as well. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, man. I don't know. I just hope if there's a continuation of him, the likes of him and Makoso not playing, I'd like to know answers on why that is, and I'd like someone to ask, in terms of like at a press conference or you know, obviously Simon Oxley or someone like that. That's what I'd like to see. But also you do say, but I do think someone else deserves a chance up front. So hopefully Nordos can prove me wrong at some point. Again, yeah, like I say, I don't think he's going to get loads of goals, but I think it can be effective in terms of actually creating and actually getting into positions, unlike Wells. Do you know what I mean? I really wanted Hashi to work. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I mean, he's in Champions League now, so he's not grumbling, is he? Even though I don't actually know where Slavia Prague are in terms of the league. Do you know what? We'll have a look. Of course, we'll have a look. We'll have a cheeky little look at where they are in the Champions League as we speak. They did play Arsenal, which was mad because I think he actually come on in that game the other day, if I'm correct. Let me just have a look. I don't like this new format, man. Champions League, just a bit off topic quickly. I don't like it. Oh, yeah, the 30th. See, look, I'm saying 30th. That's just ridiculous. I should not be saying that in a table. You know what I mean? It's mental. It's absolutely mental. But then even if you get top, you'll still get a difficult game. It's crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's mental. Shooting so poor, though. We talk about Nordos. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's not... He should be scoring goals because he's a striker, but I just think in terms of actually being effective, like if you compare him to Wells, I just think it would be more beneficial in the squad right now, especially with two up front. I don't think Elijah will be back till New Year, mate. There was a video. Who recorded it? I think it might have been Ali today on his story. Elijah on the like the bicycle thing they go on. I think it was Elijah. I'm just going to double check. Well, no, sorry. It was definitely Elijah. Let me check if it's Ali's story. I did see it this morning. Yeah, it was Ali's story on Instagram. Yeah, it was Elijah working on one of them bicycles. Come on. But yeah, I don't think New Year, January, something like that, mate, to be honest. Which actually ain't that far away when you think about it. But my worry with him is again, he's another one of them players that should be doing it at this level. But then that type of injury, you've seen players not quite come back the same. I mean, it took Van Dijk a while. And even then, I mean, he's not doing great this year, is he? I'm just thinking of someone I can think of at the top of my head. Sorry that I keep referring a lot to Liverpool, but I do obviously watch them a lot. Scouse family and things like that. So that's the only other team I can think of, really, that, you know, a player that had that type of injury. But yeah, Ben says a tall striker like Nordos is a great option to have if we can't play through the middle. Yeah, I mean, again, you know, we did, big up to yourself, mate. We did struggle with that the other day, you know, as well. But I also think that was down to lack of movement, you know, in terms of the midfield. Like, the midfield was so static at times. And again, so was Wells. I think Yates done all right. He was dropping deep. But that tells me something as well. Whether Yates is being told to do that or not, that tells me another reason why we were so poor the other day in terms of making options and trying to create. If your strikers having to drop deep, where like Walsh should be, for example, and things like that, that's embarrassing, man, really, when you think about it. Be good to have him back for the second half of the season. Yeah, like, if I had to guess, I'd probably say like January. I don't know exactly when in January, but yeah, I'd say January, hopefully. Especially now he's on that. I mean, El Hamadi weren't on that too long ago. And then I think it come out like 2 weeks later, he was in the squad. So it probably won't be that early for Elijah. But yeah, I don't know, man. And Elijah's a confidence player anyway. So, you know, it's one of them where, you know, again, he's been in the Prem. Like, you could probably argue, yeah, he's our best striker. I mean, let me know if you agree in the chat in terms of, you know, especially with his wealth of experience being in the Premier League, Championship, you know, things like that. We know he can do it. He's just a, you know, confidence player. You know, he did have a spell in the Premier League where he done really well and then he got injured. You know, you could argue if he didn't get injured, he'd have got more goals than Morris that year. And Morris was taking penalties. So, yeah, I don't know, man. We shall see, man. But, yeah, I think if Elijah is on it, he's definitely a good player. But, yeah, I just don't know. That type of injury, man. Players don't really come back the same. You know, I just don't know. I just don't know, man. We shall see. We shall see with that. But, yeah, guys, I think I am going to wrap it up for today's stream. So, yeah, big up to everyone that has tuned in to this one. Big up to G1. I'll go through this comment quickly, mate. Not been here long. Do we know El Hamadi's situation yet? Jack Wilshere did say, I did mention it towards the start of the stream, but obviously he said you weren't on. He did say it's nothing too serious, so that's obviously good to hear and everything like that. But yeah, I've enjoyed it, man. I've enjoyed doing it by myself. Obviously, not quite at the company of my dad today, but yeah, obviously, it's been good. Good talking to you guys. Cheers for, you know, staying on, really, and chatting amongst the chat. And again, I know people watch this back on playback. So do smash a like there. Do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Do follow me across all my socials. And yeah, as for the week, I'll be honest, guys, we won't have nothing until Friday. We will have YouTube shorts out, but in terms of videos and live streams, we'll not have anything out. As there's nothing to talk about. You know, our press conferences are always on Friday now. Unlike when we had Bloomfield, they were weirdly on Wednesdays. I don't understand why. They were so random, still early. Do you know what I mean? Going up to a match day, it doesn't make sense. But yeah, we'll have shorts out, like I say, so do obviously check them out throughout the week. And then obviously, like I say, Friday, we'll be back again with a hat show. My dad should be on that one as we preview Barnsley. And I believe we are doing another watch along to the Barnsley game. So yeah, do tune into that if you're obviously not going. And then obviously they'll have a match reaction from myself. Hopefully I'm not talking about another dull game. And then obviously, yeah, obviously we'll have the hat show Monday. But then we play on Tuesday next week. We obviously play Huddersfield at home, the rescheduled game. So yeah, we'll obviously do everything all in one next Monday. And everything like that, man. So yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Big up to Daniel. He says, come on, you at us. Absolutely, mate. Big up to Robert as well. He says, peace. Big up to yourself, mate. Big up to Phil. He says, take it easy, mate. Big up. Yep, you too, mate. Big up to yourself. And yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. Like I say, do smash a like if you haven't already. Do subscribe to the channel as well. And yeah, man, I will see you on Friday. And hopefully, my dad will be on too. Do become a member if you can. And everything in the description. Follow it up. All of that if you're not already. And yeah, man, until next time, take care and peace. Come on, Luton.